What's going on, everybody? Doc and Sloth, we are back. And as you guys can see, we're playing some car ball. And if you don't live under a rock, you've probably already heard this. But if you haven't, we're happy we can bring you the most up to date Rocket League news. There's some huge news, huge update news today. And we're seriously, I'm stoked. I'm so stoked, I can't even talk. And I also can't even play the Rocket League. So let's get into it. Woo! And let's hit that, maybe?
I'm prepared. Shut up. Don't talk about it. So we basically have a breakdown of what the year is going to look like. At the very least, of the first half of the year, with specific updates and what specific updates are going to bring us. So the February update, which looks to be about February 7th, is what they're targeting if they can get the go ahead from Microsoft and from Sony, is going to bring us Season 7 beginning and the Season 6 rewards at the very least. Now, I think there's a little bit of ambiguity on if that is all of the stuff that we're going to be getting in this one, or if there are indeed some of these other things coming along with it. But some of the things that they mention is a new crate and new RLCS fan rewards. Those are things that I'm actually pretty pumped for.
Oh, yeah. So I just wanted to say really quickly, that season or the February 7th date is tentative, of course, because they have to go through all the different platforms, get the update approved, get it on the store. So I'm just hoping they don't have anything a la Halo Wars 2. And then we should be good.
What are the odds of that happening?
Hopefully very, very slim with this game, but the curse of telling people it's going to happen before it's actually ready is always possible. The other thing that they talked about, and again, we said this is what it looks like. It looks like all of that stuff is going to happen at once, although they don't specifically say that, so we just kind of put that out there just a little bit. And I was kind of talking with Sloth beforehand about, there's the potential chance that maybe they release some of the stuff and then they save a little bit, maybe like the new crate, for maybe a little bit, into the year or into the month rather, just to kind of keep the content, continuous, because it seems like that's the one thing that the community wants. They want to be able to obviously know when this stuff is going to happen, but they also want to be able to have consistent updates. So I think Rocket League and Psyonix kind of understand that. But beyond that, we have the tournaments. I kind of thought you were going to hit that. We have the tournaments beta, which is going to be coming to Steam for the month of February. So kind of lucky for them, but they're going to get to see it first. But it's the first beta that's going to run through, and then obviously we'll talk here in a second, but they're looking at releasing that across all platforms a couple months after the fact. So honestly, I'm excited that they can get it. They can get the beta done, and we can see it. Not too long after that. That's going to be really, really cool.
Yeah, and I mean the thing that nobody's talking about is just this new crate and how cool the tournament beta is going to be. Just the fact that they're doing one,
Right.
I think is really cool. And there's a lot of things that I think will play into having a tournament mode. Things like being able to cap out and say, okay, this is a platinum or lower tournament only, and stuff like that I think would be really cool. But the thing that I am just a little bit bummed about is having to wait for the March or spring the March April spring update for different painted car bodies.
Yep.
To have one team with a cobalt car, and then the other team with a forest green car or something like that. Something I've been wanting for a long time. I have a ton of painted octanes, and I would love to be able to mix them up and kind of match them. So that's something that's coming with, it looks like one of the biggest updates we've seen in a very long time, in the spring update.
Yeah, so we get kind of like a March breakdown quickly too, and we get to see the fact that we get a new premium DLC. Speculation's still out on that, what it's going to be. There's a lot of people talking about, honestly, a lot of different stuff, which, they always seem to do those pretty cool. So I'm excited for that one. And then the tournaments looks like it's going to take hold in March, which is really really cool. And they've given a couple small details on it, but it looks like single elimination tournaments are going to be probably the primary thing, and I'm sure they'll do they'll kind of expand on it as they go. So really, honestly, tournaments I think is going to be awesome. They have a good chance, honestly, to bring competitive really up to another level, especially if they can figure out a way to do like season tournaments. I suck, and just things like that. You know what I mean? If they can correlate it to the seasons, and they talked about in this post, and of course we'll link it down below. They talked about being more open with when the seasons are going to change over. So it'd be kind of cool if they can eventually down the line roll a lot of that different stuff together. I think that would be really awesome, and I think players would really enjoy that. They've also been some speculation about what happens when you win tournaments. What's gonna be some of the prizes they've talked about later on. They've got a lot of the kind of like quality of life things. They've also talked about making XP and stuff like that relevant again, and then also giving the ability to get more decryptors. I mean, what better way than if you win a small tournament to get a decryptor or two? You know what I mean?
I think that stuff would be great. And honestly, there's going to be a ton of people, I think, who kind of share my sentiment that, like, I'm glad decryptors are a thing, and I'm glad people can get them. I don't really care. Decryptors are not something I really go after or I'm super excited for. I'm excited for them for other people,
Right.
but other than that, I kind of don't care. But I think that's a really cool way to reward that kind of thing, because they do specifically mention in the spring update things like you mentioned, like having XP matter again, and having a lot of other quality of life improvements, stacking inventory and things like that, so we no longer have to scroll through 800 of the same items, which I believe you have 100 PCCs,
I'm
and
getting very
you have to
close.
scroll through those players' choice grades every single time. So having things stackable, having one item that just says times 100, it would be great.
Yes.
That's stuff that I think I'm even more excited for.
Yeah, so that's kind of again targeted towards just to give the time frames. They talk about a spring feature update, so they label that as really between March and April, which is really really cool. And again, so like Sloth said, item stacking. They're talking about better item filtering, the better ability to search and to sort. I think the categories now are good, but I think there's a lot more they could obviously do with them. And then that is when, like Sloth said, we see the equip to blue, equip to orange painted car bodies, new and expanded options for essentially team quick chat, disabling certain messages, as well as actually taking a look at your bandwidth and that kind of stuff. Connection quality info, they're going to be doing a lot with that, which is really cool. Performance and visual updates, and then April and beyond, they kind of get more into the stuff where they want to continue to develop the tournaments. They also want to kind of hit on really what they covered actually in their in the kind of like year in review type thing. Again, progression updates, talking about making XP relevant again, decryptors through play, banners, titles, rewards, arenas, new features, of course Xbox One X support. And then last but not least, probably one of the other things that I think people might be kind of glossing over, probably because it's still obviously a pretty big work in progress, is the fact that they're still targeting and talking about cross-network platform play, the ability to party up, the ability to get with people and on different platforms and be able to play, which I think is awesome. And I think like PS4 and PC obviously have the capability. They're probably going to be able to do that pretty easily, and it'll just be interesting to see what other platforms can get together. I mean, it would be great if everybody on Xbox could play with everybody on PS4. That'd be awesome.
Well, so that's actually the one thing that's not going to happen is PS4 is not going to play. Sony is throwing roadblocks up from everything that we've seen so far. Nintendo, PC, and Xbox should all have no issue. That's should have no issue and actually do have no issue are two different things. But everybody's willing to play ball from those, and I think that's the big point that everybody's pretty excited about. Sony remains stuck on not wanting to communicate with the other platforms.
They just don't want to. They don't want to hang out with us. We're mean. They don't.
Not wrong.
They don't. They don't like our communities or something. I don't know. Anyways, so that's kind of what. That's essentially, in a very quick nutshell, really the entirety of the breakdown. And I'm with Sloth here. Like I think tournaments again. They have a really cool capability here with the tournaments to do that right, to make that a lot of fun. And then, a new crate, I'm always down for a new crate. I just hope it's as decent, honestly, as the Velocity crate. I was really happy with the Velocity crate. I hope we'll get to see something. And then they're also going to be doing a spring event. I'm kind of under the thought that there's a good chance that it's probably going to be Easter related, which I wouldn't mind at all. And I think that would be, honestly, a whole lot of fun. Is Maverick going to save the day here? Yeah, Maverick scored for me. But it'll be cool to see, and I think they've continued, we saw with the Secret Santa event, they've continued to progress with those events. So that's the nice thing. I think the Secret Santa one was obviously better than the Haunted Hollows, just for the sole fact of, honestly, the items that we saw inside of it. But it just seemed like even the stuff that you could, I guess, purchase with the currency was just better. And obviously the focus of the maps and everything like that, I think just all around, just a better job. So it'll be interesting to see what they bring for that spring event. And I'm sure the other thing I know they don't talk about, but I'm pretty sure we're going to see another crate sometime. My guess is maybe April. I know they don't put that in there, but that's just my hunch. They really like their crates. They like the new items. People like new crates and new items, so I see them, potentially doing that for sure.
Well, and it's such a big update.
Right.
You would think, because obviously there's different groups of people that work on different things. So, I mean, having that big of an update, you think they would want to try and celebrate it a little bit with the new crate as well.
Mm-hmm. So honestly, you gotta tell the folks, what are you most excited for? It's the one thing. If you had to pick one thing out of all this news, and this news is great, to be honest. Some transparency is always the best thing that you can do, especially with a game that garners this much attention. That's a nice shot.
See, I mean, it's the easy answer is going to be the different car bodies. I think that's a really good one. But I don't know, maybe new RLCS fan rewards, because I'm going to be watching all the tournaments I can watch anyway. Might as well get some brand new stuff for them. Apexes were not kind to me, so I might as well get the new wheel that's worth way more.
What's kind of interesting to see, and I won't say we're trading gurus by any means, but we do trade quite a bit, and it'll be really interesting to see what happens with the price of those items, even just the regular decals, the things that like people give away, and I have a crap ton. It'll be interesting to see what ends up happening with a lot of that stuff, and with Apex as well. Oh, I suck.
Yeah, just knowing that you can't get them anymore.
Well,
because their price is going to drop some, but then I think it's going to go back up too because the availability.
I think that's the one thing I know people are speculating, and obviously if they bring in new RLCS items, you expect to get a full complement of new items. I wouldn't be surprised if they kept something like that, at least the wheel. And the reason I say that is because it is such an in-demand item. Its drop rate obviously was the lowest out of any of the stuff that was in there. It would not surprise me if that was something that they maybe not completely get rid of. You know what I mean? Doing some new decals and stuff like that, new toppers and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, that's what you want to see. But I'm still, I guess I'm skeptical. I'm always just trying to be a little skeptical when it comes to a lot of this stuff. And I mean, how do you top that wheel? That wheel is extremely liked. There's a lot of people out there that really like it. It's a very clean wheel. So kind of hard to do, I think.
Well, the other thing that I think is this is a perfect time to talk about is server performance updates
Yes.
and having a lot of stuff like that because I'm glad you're not recording my perspective because I'm at 140 ping and I'm flopping all over the place. I have very little control of what's happening to my car, and this is something that's happening to me more and more. So much as I love this game, I don't really want to try and play at a champ level while I'm at 160 ping and fighting my car all game. That's not fun.
Yeah, but so the interesting thing, and I agree with you, the interesting thing, so they've obviously optimized that. They've also going to be looking and working through solutions to actually let players see if it's actually the server or if it's them. So you might find out that it's not actually that it's not actually Psyonix's fault. You might find out that it's your own.
Well, I mean, but there's something. I guess it's just that this game is so sensitive to things. I mean, but my ping settled out and stuff, and I could actually start hitting the ball again. But it's time and time again where I'll have 160 ping and this game's unplayable, and I go play literally any other game and I'm fine.
Right.
So even if it is on the client side, even if it's my internet, my fault, the game itself is so susceptible to that kind of thing. It's going to be nice to at least maybe kind of get some disambiguation.
Yeah, absolutely. So specific to what he's talking about, that they're talking about seeing connections for packet loss, latency variance, and then server performance in game. So maybe some better statistics than just the ping, which I agree with you. Absolutely something I think they need to do, and something that I think might actually help them determine what the issues are. You start giving some more information, you get the ability to kind of pinpoint maybe specific problems. So definitely looking forward to that. Guys, you can probably tell if you've watched us for a little while, you know when we're being truthful and being honest. And you can also probably tell when we're pretty excited. Seeing this post today, I genuinely got excited. I got excited for the community. I got excited for this game. And I just got excited that we finally get some news and we get some kind of marks on the wall for this game going forward. Obviously creating content is good. We like the ability to see some stuff and lay some things out and know that essentially each month moving forward, we're going to be able to talk to you guys about a couple cool things. But from a standpoint of we play this game consistently, so we want it to grow and continue to do better. And I think this post right here and kind of the roadmap forward is exactly what we needed. So super, super excited. We'll wrap this up here because we don't want to take too much time. But yeah, we'll link the post down below. Go check it out. February 7th is kind of the mark on the wall. The only thing that will disappoint me, Sloth, is if this new season and update comes out for February and they don't do a double drop rate weekend. I would be ecstatic if we got a new crate and a double drop and season rewards and new season all at the same time. I just want a two-time drop rate weekend. I have like 300 crates to open and I just need to open them. And I'm being extremely patient, but my patience is wearing extremely thin. So Psyonix, if you hear one last thing, give us a double drop rate weekend. That's all I'm asking. Please.
We don't ask for much. Come on now.
Please. Yeah, new content, new game modes, all this, quality of life fixes. Beyond that, we just want a couple double drop rate weekends. Why is that so hard to do? Anyway, so I've been Doc. That's been Sloth. Average Gamer, guys. As always, thanks for spending a few minutes of your day with us. Hopefully you guys are excited. Let us know what you're most excited for down below in the comments, and we'll continue to bring the news to you. So